Mandatory labeling of genetically engineered products has no basis in legitimate health or safety concerns, but is a naked attempt to impose the preferences of a small segment of the populace on the rest of us and make the constituents that I serve in Kansas pay more for their food.
H.R. 1599 is a mirror image of the successful USDA organic program that many of my constituents have come to appreciate and trust. This voluntary common sense option program is a compromise that balances the needs of both consumers and producers while providing a national path to getting consumers information that they may want.
Currently, a patchwork of GMO labeling has emerged across our country, with some states having completely different food labeling requirements than others.
Biotechnology is an essential tool for farmers and our food supply to have in the toolbox, and if we plan to feed the estimated 10 billion people in the year 2050 in an environmentally sound, sustainable, and affordable way, they must be used.
Frankly, the most reliable survey, the ballot box, has been 100% consistent. Every time a GMO labeling bill has been presented to voters in any state in the United States of America, they have rejected it.
I'm concerned that a patchwork of state labeling schemes would be impractical and unworkable, and such a system would create confusion among consumers and result in higher prices and fewer options.
Wholesale changes to growing, packaging, and shipping foods would have to be made beginning at the farm and all the way to the supermarket shelf in order to comply. The new infrastructure requirements are as daunting as they are costly, and you can bet that all of these costs will be passed on to our constituents. Recent studies showing the average cost topping $500 a year. For many of my constituents and others across the country, that will not work.
The facts are clear. Biotechs have facilitated the growth of more nutritious crops, all the while reducing pesticide spraying by an estimated 975 million pounds. Biotech crops have also increased crops produced, saved over 300 million acres of land, and helped alleviate poverty for 16.5 million small farmers and farm families, while reducing agriculture's, wait for it, greenhouse gases.
If you're worried about climate change and want good science, you should be for this bill. GM crops flourish in challenging environments without the aid of expensive pesticides or equipment that play an important role in alleviating hunger and food stress in the developing world. This is precisely why I'm very concerned about the demonization of biotechnology and the rejection by many of the supporting science behind it.
Mr. Chairman, this is really very simple. H.R. 59 has two very simple goals. First, to ensure that families in Kansas and across the country have access to nutritious and affordable food. And second, to make sure that those who wish to avoid food products that contain GMOs will be able to do so, that they will not be denied the right to know. In place of a convoluted patchwork of loophole-filled state or local labeling laws, we'll ensure that our food policy is science-based and transparent to consumers.